Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. My friends, I've been thinking a lot about storage and the organization of items. I have even been working on organizing all of my items, and that has brought me back to this beautiful and wonderful place. Probably one of the best bases we ever built. There are so many projects crammed into this area, it is crazy. And we've also got an amazing storage system as well. So I thought I'd come back and take a look at it. For those of you that do not know, this is our Season 5 base. And I am yet to do a Season 5 tour video, I believe. Maybe I'll do one of those soon at some point. Maybe when I go away on holiday, I'll have something like that prepared. As all you new folks that are here watching Season 6 might have not seen this place. And it is pretty spectacular. Please dispose of with lava. Yes, I will take care of that off camera in just a moment. Of course we will. Anyway, let's go through how the sorting system here worked. You started off by putting in your items over here. It would go through your shulker boxes, which I used exclusively in the ender chest as a backpacks. It would go through bulk storage. We had a little bit of a redundant system over here where it sorted out dyes. I like the one where it sorted out all the different colors of wool though. I thought that was fantastic. And then we come to our bulk storage made out of chests. Now this is something that I haven't done this season, and I think I actually miss it. You see over here, you would have a visual indicator as to what is inside of the chest, and then you would fill it up with items. And one of the key things to note is that you have to fill every single slot. So sometimes you'll see a chest like this one over here where there's loads of netherrack in, and that's just basically a placeholder. And I think this is what I missed this season, having this large amount of storage to put groups of items together and have them automatically sorted as well. But anyway, on Season 6, I've gone through every single one of my shulker boxes, like literally all of them, and sorted out all of the items. And I think the system that we have here actually shows a flaw with this, is that we tend to store things in groups like over here for neatness sake, to try and cover all of the items. And there's actually probably ones in and amongst these that you very rarely access. And that's what I've tried to eliminate from my backpack. Tried to put more useful things, more types of building blocks, and take out some of the more useless items and move them around. Anyway, we're going to flick through a lot of shulker boxes, so I'll move on from here. Is there anything else I want to show you before I go? We had this bulk storage system over here, which was really cool. It actually compact everything inside of a shulker box and then store it in these chests down here. I think these ones is where, yeah, look at that. We've got absolutely loads of stuff stored away. This, I think, was actually not so necessary unless you really want to accumulate a large amount of items. You know, this is a spectacular build, but it's got some similarities to Season 5. I mean, we can make our way in and out through the top there. It's not quite the same. It's a gorgeous build, but I think the Season 5 one is better. But I always wanted this to just be a smaller project for storing items. And as you can see, everything has been very neatly organized. We've got all sorts of materials now compacted down and refined. There is far less waste going on here, like, you know, shulker boxes that aren't being fully utilized. And I have actually cleared out all of these ones right here, cleared out all of those ones. And yes, we've got some, you know, a couple of leftover items that I don't know where to put at the moment. We've also got loads of stuff stored in bulk just in this chest over here. And one of the key things I had to do was move things around the back. And this is where I wish I'd automated this system here a little bit. I've come and moved all my giant stashes of string and leather and bamboo. All of these things have now been chucked around the back here, and that is a far better way to organize them. Just a shame that it isn't hooked up to a sorting system like this. So even our ender chest looks a little bit orderly. There are a couple of key takeaways here. One thing you'll notice is that I don't have my backpacks in my inventory. I've decided to keep them in my ender chest. So we've moved 3 shulker boxes of stuff worth in here and then taken some of them out. Remember, the ender chest is essentially our bigger backpack and things that are available to us at any point we throw down the ender chest. So in here I've kind of condensed everything down and put them into a giant toolbox. You'll notice here that I've put the ice in, and I've actually removed the ice shulker box out of here because I don't really use it that often, and when I do use it more frequently, it's just a couple of blocks of ice that I need. So if ever I do a big project with ice, I can come and grab the shulker box that's storing over that. Then we have functional blocks. As you can see, I've put all our sort of decorative and functional things together here. Things we can use to decorate and make the world a little bit more interesting. In here we have the armory, all the sort of weaponized stuff, including a little bit of food as well. You know, I don't really need to lump around a whole ender chest full of golden carrots. There are shops all over the server, and I can just hold on to a few stacks. And then, of course, we've got our rockets, pearls, and totems over here. So those are the first 4 shulker boxes. The only other one in here I think might be a little bit useless is the bones. I mean, there's a lot of bone meal in here, and usually you only need to use it in small quantities, right? And then if you're doing a big project where you're building with bone blocks, you'd come and grab the bone block shulker box. So this one actually might get condensed in the future as well. But the main thing that I wanted to focus on was having a lot of building options made available to me, and I've done that by reorganizing all of these chests. Shulker box. I interchange that with chest quite a lot. It's basically a portable chest, but over here you'll see that I have refined the way I've stored woods. The logs is pretty similar, just chucked in a few extra items, but I was thinking we can have more building options available at our fingertips if we split it across 2, and that's really important when you're doing building, to just be able to grab a couple of different types of blocks and immediately see what your build would look like with it. Then if you need loads of it, you can go and create that stuff. So the same philosophy has been applied to nether blocks, just trying to squeeze in as much as possible. And that's reminded me that I also separated quartz. Those two used to be together, and now we've got all of the different types of quartz blocks over here. Some of this is wasted space, but I didn't want to try and squeeze it all into a single one. And then over here you can see I've neatly organized all the different types of stone blocks for building. Nothing here really stored in bulk except, you know, clay and bricks. There's not too many blocks to get through there. And our other building block chest has got loads of other variants as well. So whenever I'm building, again, it just gives me access to so many options. And then when I decide, hey, I'm going to build with this, I can go and grab the bulk storage from over there. And speaking of which, there are a couple of interesting things here, I guess. Prismarine used to be in my backpack, but I decided to remove that. I think if I'm going to build with these blocks, I'll probably know in advance. And the same thing goes for the corals as well. So they've been condensed into a couple of shulker boxes. End stuff's now over here as well. I also found out that I have a ridiculous amount of ores. Look at that. I've got loads of the stuff. And yeah, the rest of this stuff, not so interesting, but we'll have a flick through. Oh yeah, that's right, I went and brought a load of flowers, and yeah, we got those on hand if ever I'm doing a project where I need to make stuff look really nice and lush. I can just grab that shulker box and bring it with me. Oh yeah, and I also ended up rearranging these chests a little bit and moving things into here, stuff that could just easily be stored away for when we need it. Rather than lumping around Vex magic in my backpack, my ender chest, we can just chuck it over here. So all of that took a fair amount of time to do, but I'm happy that I put the time aside because now I'm going to be far more organized and more productive as a result of that. So I think it was time well spent, and I've been reminded of something else I keep meaning to do episode after episode and I never get around to it, and that is update my resource pack because I haven't been using the full set of vanilla tweaks that I like for the longest time. So Vanilla Tweaks is a part of my website. If you go to xisumavoid.com, you can find a link to it on the side of the screen, and this is where you can get crafting tweaks, data packs, and also resource packs as well. And this all started off with me just tweaking the glass texture that used to have these ugly streaks for it, and over time I added more textures, then other people got involved, and now there's a whole team that have built this beautiful website where you can come in and you can tweak the look of the game. The theme here is to stick to the vanilla feel, yet offer up some extra features and touches and polish, and maybe just some things that are useful, or stuff like this where you can turn down the sounds of certain mobs, because of course a lot of them make a fair bit of noise. So what I'm going to do here is go through and pick all the elements, and with that I'll be creating a pack that I can download. But what you can do in the description box down below is you can get a link to this website that will give you all the same selections that I'm going to be choosing. So let's go through my selection. First of all, we have different stems, and over here on the side you can get a preview of what we're looking at. So that colours your melon and pumpkin stems rather than have them look the same. That to me seems just like such a simple change. In the terrain changes, we're going to go with better bedrock because the bedrock texture is just not very nice. And then the brighter nether is purely for video purposes. It makes every texture in the nether just a little bit brighter and more visible. I also and ahed about going for whiter snow and changing some of the other textures, but I've tried to stick to things that will be very close to vanilla. However, the sides of blocks look really fantastic when they come down lower than the default thing, so I'm going to go for that in this pack as well. Then when it comes to variation, this is actually one of my favourite features. What this will do is create very slight and subtle variations between the same texture. So when you have a large wall of one material, there's lots of little different tweaks and changes just here and there that you'll barely notice. I didn't go for any of the connected textures. I'd rather that stuff just be, you know, if it was introduced to the vanilla game, I'd be happy with it, but I'll leave it alone. Then in utility, we've got a really popular one, diminishing tools. This makes your tools get visibly worn out and smaller, and that's a really great indicator for when you're running low and need to go back to a farm to repair your stuff. We've also got sticky pistons, directional hoppers, and better observers, which I've been using for a while. The unintrusive rain is amazing. It just makes rain a little less intrusive, obviously. It looks really good in game. Transparent shields and lower shield as well, so that's less obtrusive. We've got lower fire, and then smaller utilities. I always have golden carrots in my offhand. It's a thing that I do, and it takes up a large amount of the screen. So all the different food types and totem of undying and similar items, if it's in your offhand, it's going to appear smaller on the screen. In this one, we got wither hearts, makes them more visible when you're taking damage from a wither, because that can be quite tricky. And then the pin color indicator. Sometimes it's just nice to see the colors. They help you digest the information. Now this is a feature I'm really looking forward to using, the dark UI. I reckon this is going to look really slick, so we're going to include that one and we'll see how it looks. We also got a background for our menus, which is andesite. I really like that. It looks nice, much better than dirt. And then for the menu panorama, there's a few options here, including all of my Hermitcraft bases. But I'm always ever so fond of Season 2, and so I want to be reminded of that every time I load up the game to play. So we're going to go with that one right there. Haven't picked anything from retro, none of this stuff interests me that much. And then from fun, of course, we've got to have the xisuma turtle. So I'm now going to download the pack and put it into the game, and of course there'll be a link in the description box that will take you to the Vanilla Tweaks page and have the very same selection that I have, so you can get the same resource pack if you wish to do so. Before we move on, I have one more thing to show you. I've been sent a work in progress resource pack, and you can see it in my inventory. I wonder if you'll spot it there, because you're definitely going to notice it in a moment. And I think this is fantastic, but I'm not sure if I would actually use it in survival. Check it out. These are the blocks right here, and rather than showing the 3D object, and you can see here it hasn't been done for shulkers, it's actually creating like a side-on view of the block itself. Now it looks fantastic when you look at the creative mode inventory, but as we open these chests here, it's pretty creative, like the slabs and the stairs, the fence posts and the fences, the walls even. Look at that. Oh, that's absolutely fascinating. And this is oh look, it's animated. Huh. It's also compatible with the resource pack that you're using, so where we have tweaks, they're actually visible here. I reckon that would take some getting used to, but I am really interested in that. That is such a really cool idea for a resource pack. And since I mentioned it, let's look at it in creative mode, because there it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's such a cool idea, really unique way to display all the items. Let me know what you think of that with a comment down below. I'm tempted to switch to using this. I think I'll try it on occasions, but for now we're going to continue like normal. And now it's time for us to look at a solution to a problem I've been talking about, the junctions for the iceways here in the Nether. We have a solution. Look at this right here. I've been looking for something simple and elegant, and I've been sent that by Quentin Willott on Twitter. So thank you so much, Quentin. This is pretty much it, what I was looking for right here. You see, we don't have to tear up the ground to do a load of redstone. What you see is what you get. There are hoppers going into a dispenser, and it's got a pressure plate on top of it. Now this means for any player who's coming through, if you're running, you can simply just go over the pressure plate. There's nothing in there. If you're in a boat, it's going to hit the cactus no matter what. But when you continue moving forward, you get it back into your inventory, you plop it down, and you keep on going. Now if we had these quite frequently, I could see them getting annoying, but if you encounter one every now and then, this is pretty much perfect. Do you want to get off? No, I don't. I will continue on my way. With the trapdoor up the top here, walking onto the pressure plate can be a little bit inconvenient as it adjusts your hitbox and you're down on the ground. But when we remove it, the thing is, this stops anything spawning in that spot, so we don't have to worry about it. And speaking of spawning locations, I don't think they can spawn on hoppers, but just in case they can... Well, actually, no, we've got the trapdoors there, so we don't even need that redstone. Another thing you'll notice is that I keep bumping into the cactus, and what I think might be a solution to this is to have a block directly on top of it, and then it's much harder for you to collide with it. So we don't take any damage now, that's really cool. And then this would actually be a spawnable space if things can spawn on hoppers. Yeah, I was going to say, there's a problem with that. I do, however, want to block this off, so I'm thinking maybe doing that to stop access through that gap is the way to go. It's now starting to look a little bit cluttered, but it's still very simple to set up. And maybe it could be simplified a little bit more, but that I think is a really great way to make a junction. Let's just use it one more time. You're coming through. The additions we made there haven't caused a problem, as I theorized they wouldn't. Oh yeah, and I removed some redstone, so that's now hanging out inside there. So a couple more adjustments, and this thing is looking slick. I love it. Quentin, thank you so much for sharing this, and thank you to everyone for sharing and trying to help out. I do appreciate it. I think we've found our winner, and I'd like to know what you think. So there'll be a poll in the top right corner of the screen. Have a vote. Let me know what you think of this design. I think this one right here is the winner. And you're probably going to see me make tweaks and changes as time goes by. Yeah, that just feels a little cleaner and smaller yet again. So what was the fate for the next part of this episode? I don't know what I had planned because I have been absolutely distracted with an idea for a mini-game, a really good one that I am so stoked about, and I don't think it would take us a crazy amount of time to prepare everything for it as well. What I have been doing is flying around and looking for a spot. I think what we'll do is get started this episode, and the next episode I'll talk about the mechanics, what's going on inside of this game, because I think it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be brilliant to see other people play it. And I'm looking at the spot right behind me where I think this is going to go. It's going to be quite big and obnoxious, actually kind of similar to this, having some big boxes come up into the sky. But I thought if I built it in this gap here, then maybe me and Cub could work together on building a facade for the city here, and maybe it encompasses some of my game as well. As I'm basically going to build some rooms, there's going to be 5 of them in total, and they're going to move through this space right here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just start off by chopping down some trees, and then I think we're going to lower the ground a little bit too, because then the rooms can be lower down, they can be less obnoxious as they will be quite tall. The other cool thing about being in this area is that we got beacon effects. There's jump boost, speed, resistance, regeneration, but most importantly haste, which will help me get things done faster. And so I chopped down all the trees in this area and then kind of got drawn closer over to this end where there were less trees. And you can see that I've put down some foundations, some footprints, and you can kind of see where I've been moving those around as well to figure out the best place to put this. I gotta say, I love the jump boost and the speed here. It's really helped me whiz around placing blocks and, you know, jump up like that onto these things really easy. I also think it helps you jump up in the sky as well and get flying from the ground. So that is the layout right there. There are 5 rooms, and then there are little areas between the rooms. There are also going to be rooms as well, and we're not going to focus much on decoration. This is about creating an area for the challenge. Now, I don't want this to take up like a big visual imprint on the land, so what we're going to do next is start to dig downwards, and I only needed to do that for a couple of the rooms. This one's going to be the smallest right here, so you can see, well, it's not very big. And some of the other ones are a little bit bigger behind me, but if we focus on these two, you'll notice that's where I've done some digging down. So that one's quite low, and then this one goes even lower as well. So yeah, look at that. We've got all of our rooms prepared, and of course you're not going to know what goes in until the next episode, if I happen to make it all in the next episode. Come on, no, very bad. Oh, jeez, I thought that was going to backfire. So yeah, the contents of these rooms are challenges, and we've now got like a little bit of a layout here. As you can see, this is where you start, that's where you end, and then these are going to be like the lobby rooms between the levels. So now I'm going to start building this up a little bit, put some structure around it, maybe get into the aesthetics. I'm just seeing how much I can do with the time that I have at the moment. And I'm happy to say I actually got everything here done, with exception to some redstone which I could have put in place, as the game is going to be a form of time trial that'll be activated by stepping over the pressure plate. So in each room there's going to be a challenge, and then when you come out you're going to be able to collect some items from here. There'll be a little bit of instruction on the lectern, and then you go into the next room and do the challenge. And as you can see, we've got a little soul sand elevator right here to take you to this bit, and it's pretty uniform, pretty standard and plain looking, but it's the game itself that's going to be fantastic. So then you come to the very last room, and I haven't put anything in here because this is the end of the game, so there'll probably need to be a sign saying that. And then at the end here, I reckon what we'll probably do is build a path sort of going around the side here, meeting up with the entrance to Iscal's game, to the exit of the floor is lava, somewhere around here. As you might suspect, all of that building cost me a lot of dyes, and halfway through it I ran out of some green dye, so I headed over to the XP vault where Ren was using the system and getting lots of green dye from that, which he was happy to throw my way, and that gave me an opportunity to see it in action and also check up on it as well. So I checked behind the scenes. I could see that all the dispensers were getting rid of the green dye into lava. There was a little bit of a problem with the cactus building up on the string. I don't know what caused that, but I reset it for now. We need to keep an eye on that. And I also checked to make sure that both of the farms were working, which they were, and it looks like, you know, the project basically is a success, and it was really nice to check up on it. For the customization we've done today, I've also added another feature, which is actually a mod. As you'll see right here, there's an additional screen, and if I hold down shift it lets us look inside of the shulker box. You may have seen me do this in the past. I really like this mod. I did it on my Let's Play Minecraft Together series. I'm thinking of doing it here on Hermitcraft. It colorizes the menu though, which I thought was interesting. I actually really like that. It's a little bit more modded feeling. And also you don't see the full contents by default, so you hold down shift to see more and then alt to see it all spread out. And I might be able to change that. I really like it. I'm probably going to end up, you know, using this. So we will start the video. So we will end the video where it started in my Season 5 base. I had so many suggestions to use Johnny the Axeman to kill the mushrooms. I figured I should come and show you this. It's exactly what we did last season with a different design for a mushroom farm. So I'll sign off by saying that we hit 100 million subscribers on the channel. I can't thank you enough for your support over the years. It's tremendous. The 1 million subscriber special video has gone live on this channel. So if you want to check it out, it'll be linked in the description box down below. That's where we're wrapping up this episode, peeps. Thank you ever so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.